Hi, I'm Nicole.
I'm Juwon.
We're going to be talking about the fertility diet. Just kind of an overview, what we're going to talk about.
So we're going to talk about why should we care about fertility.
So these are just kind of some statistics that I saw online. So we're all in the medical field, so I thought I would kind of like gear it towards that a little bit. So basically 75.6% of female physicians reported like delaying to start a family due to their career. And then these are kind of comparing female physicians versus non-physicians who experience infertility. So you can see there's like a significant amount of female physicians who experience infertility compared to just like the general population. So pretty important for all of us in here.
And this is talking about physicians. Oh no, you're good. But the next slide, we're talking about surgeons, female surgeons, which in the group of physicians, surgeons are typically more stressed, they have more physically demanding lifestyle and longer training period. So this was a study published in JAMA, and they compared female surgeons with male surgeons, and then they also compared female surgeons with female partners of female non-surgeon partners. So for comparison with male surgeon versus female surgeons, female surgeons were more likely to delay having children, which is what Nicole discussed earlier, and have fewer children, but also use more assisted reproductive technology like IVF and insemination. I forget the word where you help with insemination. And then compared with female non-surgeon partners, female surgeons are more likely to have major pregnancy complications and more using IVF. And then when you look at female surgeons who are operating more than 12 hours or more per week, they have higher risk of major pregnancy complication. So this is something that's related to the topic and something important for all of us to kind of keep in mind when discussing fertility with physicians.
And then I was also kind of looking at like the lack of standardization within the country and even within like different hospital systems. I guess this is kind of more like towards residents or like younger attendings who are trying to get pregnant and have a child. So fertility preservation policies, so like sponsoring IVF or like freezing your eggs, things like that. There's like huge discrepancies in different areas on how that's managed. Maternity and paternity leave, as we know, already in this country compared to a lot of other places, we do not get a lot of that. And then even within different places, there's like totally different rules on how long people can take. Work hour flexibility, again, that's maybe specialty dependent, hospital dependent, system dependent, so that can vary a lot. And then employer-sponsored insurance also, whether that covers things like IVF, freezing your eggs, any sort of like fertility treatments, that is totally different all over the country. So we really have like a huge lack of standardization for these things, which makes it a lot harder for people too.
Okay, so what do we currently know about fertility diet? So these are some of the things that were published about what we know for sure. So some things with strong evidence, women who are very underweight or very overweight on the extremes of both sides have trouble getting pregnant. Folic acid supplementation is useful it has a clear benefit in preventing neural tube defects. And then seafood with high mercury levels should be avoided. So these are things that we all know for sure. And also, women who consume high fast food and little fruit, they take longer time to get pregnant than compared to people who have healthy diets. And then sugar-sweetened beverages such as sodas or energy drinks, they were linked to lower fertility for both men and women. But drinking diet soda and fruit juice had no effect. And this is a chart that we found of different diets and the variations. So pro-fertility diet has dairy in moderation, soy foods and seafood rather than meat, whole grains, low pesticide produce, that one's important, and then folic acid, vitamin B12, and vitamin D.
Yes, this is kind of like another study over the different diets that I found. It was a big meta-analysis that went through different studies that looked at the Mediterranean diet and then different versions of like what a fertility diet would be. So there was one called the pro-fertility diet and then one called the Dutch diet. And then just like different unhealthy diets. The things that are in green are the things that they had high intake of in like each one of these diets, and then brown was lower intake. So it's kind of hard to see. These are like all the different studies, but basically these are all like Mediterranean diet right here. And then in this whole section is like the healthy diets, and then those are people, so it's separated into like assistive reproductive technology morphology, and then like natural pregnancy. And then over there is like all the unhealthy diets. So basically they found that people who followed the Mediterranean diet had significantly improved pregnancy and live birth rates, specifically using ART. And then the people who followed the healthy diets, so the pro-fertility or Dutch diets, had significantly improved natural conception outcomes compared to all of the unhealthy diets.
So what foods do we eat? And so the foods include fruits and vegetables. They help with hormonal balance and egg quality. Whole grains help with energy production and hormone regulation. Lean protein also give the amino acids that we need for hormone synthesis and cell growth. And healthy fats help regulate hormone and improve egg quality.
And then if we look specifically at like nutrients or supplements that you should be taking, folic acid, we all know it's a big one, like Juwon mentioned earlier, for preventing neural tube defects. Iron, also really important to make sure that you are properly oxygenating the fetus. I also saw a lot about long-chain omega-3 fatty acids being really important for like hormonal balance, ovulation regulation, maintenance of the placenta, just kind of like ovarian health in general. And then soy supplements, this was actually kind of like a controversial topic before. People were saying that they thought it was not beneficial, they thought it was bad, but actually recently it's been shown to be beneficial in women who are undergoing treatment for infertility.
And what do we want to avoid? So the things we want to avoid is added sugar, alcohol like we were discussing, caffeine, meat, and then unwashed fruits, unpasteurized dairy, and undercooked meat, poultry, and eggs. And those are, the last three are to prevent infections like listeria, salmonella, which you don't want the baby to get.
Okay, and then I also wanted to look a little bit into any contributions from like the male diet and see how that kind of plays a role. So some foods to include, a lot of it is like similar to the female diet, you know, like primarily whole foods, plants, things like that. But one thing that I found particularly interesting was antioxidants. In one study it found that men who consumed antioxidants, it was beneficial for them and like their sperm quality, but it actually had no effect on women when they were consuming antioxidants, so it seemed to be more important for the male partner. And then also again, same thing, long-chain omega-3 fatty acids, that contributes to improved sperm count, motility, and morphology, and then kind of similar to the female. So like seafood, poultry, whole grains, fruits, vegetables, all that is associated with better outcomes. And then some lifestyle factors that we looked into also besides the diet, exercise, kind of going back to like the weight problem, like you don't want to over-exercise and be like too thin. You also don't want to under-exercise and be obese. So kind of important to maintain like a moderate exercise plan. Sleep, high quality sleep is very important for like production of the hormones, maintaining sperm count in men. Stress is a huge modulator of the HPA axis. And that's kind of what regulates the hormone production. So you want to manage your stress levels. Tobacco, ideal not to consume tobacco. That accelerates ovarian aging, decreases egg quality as well as sperm quality. Alcohol kind of interferes with the hormone production a lot and also decreases the quality of sperm. And then environmental toxins, so kind of like she was talking about before, like pesticides, things like that you want to avoid. Make sure you're like washing produce. Heavy metals, phthalates, and bisphenol A also that can disrupt the hormones as well as the ovarian function.
All right, so that's it.